What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Rated or Love Season 7, Episode 10. Episode is titled Bro Code Broken, you guys. Now, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date, having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know you can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on those post notifications, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Rated or Love, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode right here, very boring to me. It was boring to me, you guys, so I don't really expect this review to be like super duper lengthy because nothing really happened and the episode ended with a cliffhanger, right? So you guys know that this week is the week that the singles will be going on the weekend getaway, right? And you guys always know the weekend getaway, we always can expect a little bit of drama with the weekend getaway. I also believe that with the weekend getaways, that these people take the time to get it in, right? So we see certain people in cars together. We saw, now I don't know who Blake was in the car with, and I don't really care. But I know I saw Lyndon, Tony, and I believe Andre in the car together. And I know Morgan and Jeffrey were in the car together. Jeffrey and that baby voice, it's got to go. Like, it's really irritating the shit out of me, right? So, I do want to point out one thing that Tony said. So Tony was like, you know, he does wish that Marcia was still in this process, right? But, you know, he's a little happy that both of his connections won't be in the same environment this weekend. And I said that because it's going to come up a little bit later in the episode, you guys, because I think that's very interesting that he said that. So put a pin in that little thing right there, right there, right there. Put a pin in there. And we'll come back to it later. So the singles, they get to a swamp and they look like where we're staying, right? But Tommy came up and he told them that at the end of this the next morning, the next morning, these gentlemen will be sending one of these fine ladies home. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, say, what now? Why do the men get to send another woman home? Marcia just went home, so why does another woman have to go home? Shouldn't a man go home? But again, this just is telling because y'all are refusing to send Blake home. At this point, I'm realizing y'all refuse to send Blake home because y'all know that if a man was to go home, like at this point, can we just wrap up this season? I just really want this season to be over with. I want this season to be done. I am so over it. I know that, you know, me rushing this season is going to rush us right into Dallas. And I'm not looking forward to Rated or Love Dallas because I'm not looking forward to that at all. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Guys, so the house was nice, right? So they did a boat ride over there. I'm still stuck on the fact that one of the women is going to be going home. So let's pause here and move forward, you guys. So to get to the house, I do want to point one thing out. I do want Andre to stop mentioning Mercedes and the fact that Mercedes did not check on him once he left the process because of COVID. Sir, she has other connections that she was trying to, you know, work out. You had left the process. Like, God, I really want him to shut up about that. I really, really want him to shut up about that. And the other thing that I want to stop happening is this big dick contest between Tony and Lyndon. It's really getting annoying at this point, right? This competition for them with Morgan. Y'all don't see that Morgan is pitting you both against each other. Number one, she enjoys what she's seeing. Number two, y'all don't see that, but okay. So Tony and Lyndon basically had a a whose dick is bigger competition with playing pool, right? Because they were vying for Morgan, right? One of them was like, who Morgan's gonna sleep. I'm saying that, and I don't mean it in the way that it's gonna come out. Whose bed she's gonna sleep in. So Tony ended up winning the pool game. Not that I really cared, but again, like I said, y'all don't see what we see, but never mind. And the thing that's still throwing me with Tony and Lyndon is the fact that y'all are still pursuing Morgan, and y'all heard from her ex that she nared the man's hair off. That don't scare y'all? That would have scared the entire shit out of me. But I guess it don't scare them, but it should. It really should. So, let's go over to old Blake real quick. Blake is still talking about the fact that Pick Me Susu is divorced. And he says he's divorced. But then he wants to call Pick Me Susu the red flag. Or scratch that, not the red flag, a trigger. I was like, sir, the trigger would be you and the fact that you have 3 kids with 3 different women. That's a trigger. Pick Me Susu. I know you gotta be watching this show thinking, how fucking stupid was I? Because you look about dumb as fuck. Like, I don't know the nicest way to say that, but you look dumb as hell. Talking about the fact that Blake, he's your top connection, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. You look foolish, lady. You look real foolish. Jeffrey. Yeah, at this point, everybody's gotten them. At this point in the process, all of them are on my last damn nerves. Jeffrey and his baby voice is really getting on my nerves, right? So Jeffrey is talking about her connection with Andre and Mark Anthony. Jeffrey. Where do I start with you? That baby voice is where we're going to start. Talking your real voice. Then Andre and Mark Anthony. You feel a strong, let's just keep it real. Jeffrey, be real. You like Andre more than you like Mark Anthony. I wish you would just straight out say that. God dang. These people are just, oh God. This is why I feel like Jeffrey is played the numbers game. I just feel that way, right? I just feel that way. I really do feel that way. I want you guys to tell me what you guys think. So I'm gonna pause here and move forward. So the group has a dinner with each other, right? There was no assigned seats. I'm hella confused why Tony got so upset by Lyndon sitting by Morgan. To me, it gives a tinge of jealousy. And I'm gonna explain to you guys why. I'm gonna explain to you guys in just a little bit. We'll get there. But it just gives a tinge of jealousy, right? He says he's not jealous, but I'm like, I beg to differ. I do believe he might be a little bit envious, right? And like I just said a few minutes ago, I do believe that Morgan also enjoys this cat and mouse game with Tony and Lyndon. Because, she went outside and, she was telling him basically to calm down. I sat by you. He said, but your shadow came and sat right there. Is this more so because anybody could have sat next to her, right? Any other man could have sat next to her. Blake could have sat next to her. Anthony could have sat next to her. Mark Anthony could have sat next to her. Andre could have sat next to her. Is it just because she has a connection with him? Is that what it is? Because it just kind of feels like you can't handle a little bit of competition, right? And I'm going to come back to this in just a minute. I'm going to come back to it because I have something to say. So, Anthony, we see him as he's talking to Pick Me Susu. And I was like, Anthony, you are wasting your time. You don't like Pick Me Susu and she don't like you. She is more interested in a man that is not interested in her. She looks dumb on both fronts. At least with one of you, she knew that there was nothing there, Anthony. But you are still pursuing Blake. Girl, there ain't shit there but air and space. But okay. You have fun with it, sis. You have fun with it. So, Andre, he went to talk to Cynthia, right? And he's talking about his connections with Cynthia and with Jeffrey. Much like with Jeffrey, Andre, you are more connected to her. I don't know why either one of you are connected to the other person because you both scream red flags to me. But Cynthia's thing is when it comes to Andre, she doesn't feel that she can open up to Andre the way that she does with Anthony. And I see that. With Cynthia, I would say to Cynthia that I just want you to go back to the date with your ex when he said he can move on the next day or whatever he said. I would go back to that. I would always keep that in the forefront. Next up, Tony. So Morgan and Jeffrey were talking, right? Jeffrey is, I don't know what to do about my two connections. Girl, shut up. If y'all can't tell that I'm not frustrated. It's just that it's there. What is the word I want to say? First of all, I don't feel like anybody is like really connected to each other, but I can see where the connections can kind of happen. But it just, I don't know. We're at the end of the season, and y'all are still waffling, and I think that's what's bothering me is the fact that they're just still going back and forth between people. Now I do kind of feel like Morgan when she was talking to Tony, because Tony was able to give Jeffrey some advice, but then are you then applying the same advice to your connection, not connections, but literal connection? Now, here's where I'm gonna deviate right from this scene, not completely, but we're gonna go off track, right? So, Tony did say to her that he doesn't feel that Morgan has a connection with Lyndon, right? So I'm gonna say this, and I'm putting this out there. I'm saying this, right? And I want you guys to tell me if you guys feel the same way that I feel, right? So when it comes down to Morgan, Lyndon, Tony, right? I do feel that Morgan has a connection with both Tony and with Lyndon, right? But I also feel that, like I said earlier, she likes the back and like the pendulum. She likes the going back and forth with both of those two men, right? So what she does with Lyndon, she uses Lyndon to get under Tony's skin, right? And it's absolutely working. Tony is getting riled up and worked up behind Morgan, right? And she is in the middle and she's enjoying it, right? She's just enjoying these two men going back and forth about her having it out with each other. She's enjoying that. So as much as Tony says she doesn't have a connection with Lyndon, she does have a connection with Lyndon. But that connection is one that she might not want to explore, but she is enjoying seeing you show your tail, basically, showing that you're a little bit jealous of Lyndon. And again, I'm going to point out one big thing. N-A-I-R. Have y'all both forgotten that she nared her ex's hair? Just going to point that out to you every time. That you two are vying for the affections of a woman that is equivalent to Michael Myers. I'd rather sleep with Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, any ghost face that you can find they're deceased, but ghost face from Scream. I would sleep with any mass serial killer in a horror film before Morgan. Just putting it out there for you. That's all I got. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree or you disagree. What else we got, you guys? The group dinner. Tony, you had a little bit of that brown liquor. Andre, what the hell was he talking about with the black Indians and the indigenous people? I was confused. Lyndon, you're messy. This is going to what I was just saying a minute ago about Morgan likes what she sees, right? Because now, Lyndon, you got it started, right? Because you're talking about the fact that y'all have to send one of the women home. Then you singled Tony out by saying, who would you send home, right? Tony says that he's only worried about Morgan. So then Lyndon says, well, what if Marcia was here? Tony said, if Marcia was here, Morgan was always my top connection. I was like, now, was she? I always thought that Marcia was your top connection. I thought Morgan was number two. I thought Marcia was number one. But he says that, right? So Lyndon asked the question again. I was like, oh my God, Lyndon, please leave it be. So Tony says to Lyndon, how do you feel that you have a connection with Morgan, right? But I kiss her, right? I kiss her for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, right? And you ain't kissed her yet. Now, me personally, I would have had a rebuttal. Me personally, I would have had a rebuttal. I definitely would have had a rebuttal to him. But Lyndon had a rebuttal too. Because Lyndon was like, didn't you tell me that if Marcia was here, I could have Morgan? He said I did. And I was like, oh, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. What's going on here? Now, I was going to say something, but I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to keep that little nugget to myself, right? Because I had a little question. Because when Tony told Lyndon that they could go outside, I just have a big question. But you guys aren't privy to it, so I'm not going to say what my question is. But Tony, you know what my question is, if you're watching. Because it's a kind of a contradiction. It's a little bit of a contradiction, my friend. It is a contradiction. Because you told that man y'all could go outside. What were y'all gonna do outside? Just asking a question. Just asking a question. Yeah, you guys, this episode just didn't give me shit. Jeffrey and Andre got in the hot tub. She had on her leggings. Now, I noticed that yellow top she had on, right? Is that the same yellow top she has on in her interview? Because it looks the same. So Tony, he went up to Morgan and apologized. And I'm going to say it one more time, Tony. Sleep with both eyes open because she nared her ex's hair. Just putting that out there. Just putting that out there for you. So then the guys met up with Tommy, and had their deliberation. The episode ended with a cliffhanger because we are down to the bottom two is Mercedes and Pick Me Susu. I, honest to God, don't care who goes home but I don't think they're gonna I don't believe that they will send Mercedes home. I think it's Pick Me Susu's time. Please let it be Pick Me Susu's time. Please let it be Pick Me Susu's time. But that's really all I got, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and also share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I will catch you guys in the next one. So you guys, the schedule is going to be off today because yesterday was my little cousin's birthday, so she's having a party today. So I'm going home to celebrate with her. So there won't be a live for Life After Lockup this week. If it is, I might do it Sunday. Actually, that's probably what we'll do. We'll just end up doing it Sunday. That might be what we do. And I need to do Chasing Dallas. I'm debating if I want to really review that show. Power Book 2 Ghost is going to be up on Sunday as well. I got to finish watching that episode. All right, you guys. So I'll see you guys for Life After Lockup. Until then, did I give you guys my outro? Stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one if I didn't already say it. See you guys later. Bye, guys.